to come out, which shows that a black woman mothered all people on the planet at this time. Woman, in fact, is physiologically more complex than the name. Hence, Eve cannot come out of Adam, only Adam can come out of Eve. Africans have created the myth of Isis and Osiris. Isis and Osiris, unlike Adam and Eve, give you a vision of the completeness of the human through the equality of the male and the female. We understood that the role of the woman, while being different, was equal and important. And there were times when the role of a woman and the role of a man was one and the same. Many of the goddesses of the Europeans were black. The goddess of chastity was a black woman as women. They could have chosen their own women, they chose some of their own women, but the most important goddesses were black as the life giver. We recognize that role as being over and above something that man could do. And that is the woman of the southern and eastern Africa. That is the black woman, total, final, complete Homo sapiens sapiens that produces our people. That is the fundamental mother of mankind.
Oh man, I get pumped up every time I watch that video, Sister Alima. It brings chills to my spine.
I'm sorry, I just don't feel comfortable signing this.
Oh.
What do you mean you don't feel comfortable? Look, if you just sign right here, we'll get the...
Okay, so my bad, y'all. I had the video continued to play. So welcome to Tea Talk, another episode of Tea Talk with the Sisterhood. My name is Dr. Oya Ma'at. I am the co-president and co-founder of Ed Anime Productions. And I powwow. I link up with the Sisterhood. Every week we come together to discuss issues that are on the hearts and minds of the sisters. And usually we have a panel with at least about 3 or 4 of us. But today I see it's 2 of us, and it's all good. We're going to keep on keeping on. Sister Alima, how you feeling, sis?
I'm doing good, Queen. How are you?
Hey, I can't complain, sis. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers. I see that we have 10 viewers so far.
Peace and love, family. My name is Alima La Poete, BKA Alima Njai. I'm the author of Perceptions of a Misplaced African, Volume 1, available now on Amazon and Kindle. And I hope you all enjoy the show today.
Oh man, we have a powerful show lined up. And I remember you and I were, just politicking as we usually do throughout the week. And we were trying to think of topics for today's show. And, initially I wanted to talk about self-hate in the Black community. You said, oh no, sis, we got to think of something that's... I said, well, what about, the topic or the question, can you be pro-Black and involved in an interracial relationship? And you say, yes, yes, sis, let's do it. And so this show is going to be very, very powerful. I know that brothers and sisters are coming in. We're already up to 14 views and viewers, and people are coming in to hear, what we had to say, or, our thoughts on interracial relationships. But before we get started, sis, we always pay homage to our ancestors, because we understand that we are incarnations of them and we stand on their shoulders. And by shoulders, I mean that our ancestors are our foundation. They are our source for knowledge, wisdom, strength, and understanding. And so we always honor and revere our ancestors, at the beginning of any show. So sis, are there any ancestors you would like to lift up right now?
Bessie Coleman.
Ashe.
Maya Angelou.
Ashe.
Madam C.J. Walker.
Ashe.
Shirley Chisholm.
Ashe.
Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Ida B. Wells.
Ashe.
Dr. Dorothy Height.
Ashe.
Mary McLeod Bethune.
Ashe.
Rosa Parks.
Ashe. Yes, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, I don't know the name of Raziki's dad. Her dad transitioned about a week ago, and I don't know his name, but I want to say Ashe to him. He became an ancestor, and I want Sister Riziki to know that she's definitely in our thoughts. I don't know if she's listening in right now, but sis, we're here. The sisterhood loves you, and we support you. And so I do want to lift your dad up right now, and I don't know his name, but I want to say Ashe for the father of Sister Riziki L, who's also a part of Tea Talk with the Sisterhood. So any hot topics going on, Sister Alima? Any hot topics that you can think of? I know that last week, R. Kelly, was in the headlines because some parents came out and they accused him of not kidnapping their daughter, but getting their daughter involved in some sort of sex cult. They said he has like 6 women in different mansions. And I put up a Facebook post about it when I initially saw it. But I wasn't surprised, sis, at R. Kelly's behavior. I mean, as I stated in my post, this brother has an established pattern of preying on young females.
Mm-hmm.
So, he may be innocent of these allegations. Let me say that he may be innocent. These are and I did notice that in the article it does say 6 women. It didn't say 6 teenage girls or 6 little girls. It's 6 women. So when you think of a woman, you're saying, okay, this is someone that is of of proper age. But given his history, it's like I don't give R. Kelly the benefit of the doubt for anything.
Right.
Just given his track record, I wouldn't be surprised if he is involved in some sort of sex trafficking scheme or whatever. I just given the brother's history. And so what are your thoughts on that, sis? I know that you commented on the post. A lot of other brothers and sisters commented on the post. And surprisingly, there were brothers and sisters who came to the defense of R. Kelly, regardless of his past history. They said, no, man, R. Kelly is a successful Black man. And they think that this is the media trying to calumniate this brother and slander this brother. Because one brother claimed that R. Kelly is now trying to unite Black people. I don't know how that is, but he was saying that R. Kelly's out there trying to unite Black people. And I asked him, I said, can you please post me a reference or a source so that I can, verify that? And he never did, but he was saying, anytime you try to, unify Black folks, that's when the media come for you. And R. Kelly's a successful Black man. And this is just, another, ploy or attempt of the media to assassinate a Black man's character. So anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Sister Alima?
Well, in reference to the comment that the brother made, the only way I could agree with that is if he had never had any prior allegations which turned out to be true. So if that's the only way it could be some type of conspiracy against this man. But I'm not sure if people are just too young to remember that he married Aaliyah when she was 15, or they just choose to forget that he married this young girl when she was 15 and he was like 25, 26, or how old he was. That's pedophile behavior, just for clarification for those out here that don't know. Now, I know that a lot of us, when we were 14 and 15, we was hopping in and out of cars with guys that was like 25 and 30. But boo-boo, you were a victim of pedophilia as well. Okay, so don't think that it's okay because you did it, because that's what I'm hearing from a lot of women. Well, if that's the case, then there's a lot of guys that are pedophiles. Because when I was 15, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. So I won't speak necessarily on this particular allegation because I don't know if it's true or not. But I will say that he has a pattern and that it shouldn't be overlooked.
Exactly. And sis, I share the same sentiments. Like, on this particular allegation, I don't know. But yes, this brother has an established pattern and we shouldn't be turning a blind eye to it. We need to take heed. And so if it comes out to be true, Dr. Maya is going to say she's not surprised.
Right.
Let me share my screen with you guys really fast. I don't know if we have brothers and sisters in the UK who are watching. This Saturday, July the 29th, from 12 o'clock to 2100, they're having a Black Film Fest in London, in the UK, and they will be showing Meltrek. There's an Eventbrite. Someone created the event on Eventbrite. Let me get all the details. Okay, Saturday the 29th, so that's this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be at the West Green Learning Center at Parkville Academy, West Green Road, London, N153QR. Okay, and it says that tickets are $8.50. Well, I think that's euros, so that would be 8.5 euros, and it says OTD 10 euros. Children under 16 and elders over 60 are free. So they're going to be showcasing African arts and crafts, books, DVDs, jewelry, fashion, body and hair care products, food, toys, it says, and much more. They're going to give presentations on entrepreneurship. There will be children activities and film screenings. All right. And one of the films that will be shown is Meltrek. Meltrek will be shown at 12:15 p.m. This will be the UK premiere of Meltrek episode 2, exploring the pre-Columbian Americas. And I know there are a lot of folks who watch me, so they probably already have the DVD and probably have already seen it. But for those who haven't seen it, in Meltrek episode 2, we explore the pre-Columbian Americas. So we take the children back in time to explore North America, Mesoamerica, and South America. And we show the condition of the Americas prior to the arrival of Christopher Columbus. In Meltrek episode 2, we also talk about the African presence in the Americas prior to Christopher Columbus and the transatlantic slave trade. Now, I do want to add this caveat because I actually got into it with the elder. I'm not going to say his name. Not going to say his name on the show, but an elder and I kind of went back and forth on Facebook, because he said he watched the trailer for Meltrek episode 2, and he said that he feels like we're implying that African people are the Native Americans. So if you watch Meltrek, now granted, when I watched the trailer, and I was the one who created the trailer, and I've watched it over and over and over again, and for the life of me, Sister Alima, I cannot understand how someone could believe that we are making that claim. But anyway, for those who watch the trailer and think that that's the claim, it's not. We are not claiming in Meltrek episode 2 that we are the Native Americans. We are claiming that there was an African presence in the Americas prior to the transatlantic slave trade and Christopher Columbus, but in nowhere in the film are we saying that that we are the Native Americans. What we do in this film is we describe the culture of the Aboriginal people, and we talk about the African presence in the America. That's it, in the Americas. So that's it. So I just wanted to, add some clarity for those who've seen the trailer and said, oh, Dr. Mayad is now claiming that we're the Native Americans. Absolutely not. We're claiming that we were here prior to the transatlantic slave trade and prior to Christopher Columbus. So that is the claim that we make in Meltrek episode 2. So at any rate, if you guys are in the UK, please come on out to the Black Film Fest. Please support that event. Check out Meltrek and get back to me on your feedback. All right. So, Sister Alima, let's get into the topic at hand. Can you be pro-Black and involved in an interracial relationship? Now, I know that Umar was on the hot seat for the last couple of weeks because of his statements that he made on the Breakfast Club. So let me show you guys the clip. Just to refresh your memory, let me show you the clip.
Marriage is a political decision. Who you marry tells me who you are. When you marry a woman, you marry her culture, you marry her community, you marry her people. You understand? So when a Black man marries a white woman, he's making several clear points and messages he's sending out to his own people. Because there's no greater symbol of your loyalty to your struggle than to marry a sister who shares that struggle.
You're telling me, right? If my son, my Black son,
Yes.
brings home a white girl, because
How old is he?
not for nothing, he's 13.
Yes.
Not for nothing, we live in an area that is predominantly white.
Okay.
Reason why? Better school system, better education.
I got you.
A lot safer. So if he brings home a white girl, I should be like, son,
We need to have a
you
conversation.
shouldn't date her, you should date a Black person.
Because you have to teach your son loyalty to his community. European Jews do it. Arabs do it, Chinese do it, we're the only people who feel anxious and ambivalent about telling our black boys that you better love and marry a black woman. And you know why we feel ambivalent? Because all of us have been conditioned by church envy to be colorblind. We're constantly told over and over again that it is wrong to be for yourself before you are for anyone else. And that's why Africans are dead last.
I don't agree.
There's nothing wrong with being loyal to yourself.
There's nothing wrong with being loyal to yourself, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
also who you love. I can't tell my son who he connects with better.
Can that white woman ever understand your son's struggle?
Fuck no.
Thank you. So why would you want him to spend the rest of his life with a woman who can never understand how he feels when the New York City Police Department pulls him over? You need a woman who can feel you. And the only woman on earth who can understand the black man is the black woman. And that's why I cannot respect a black man who is not committed to a black woman. That's the greatest symbol of pride in self.
I agree with you, but I do think people, fall in love with who they fall in love with. But
love is a function of priorities and boundaries.
And you better never fall with a white woman.
So that was Umar Johnson on the Breakfast Club show. So then after he appeared on the Breakfast Club show, then Roland Martin had him come on News One, which is I think it's called News One now. Yes, which is aired on TV One. So when he got on there, I kind of feel like, again, he was a guest on his show, but I kind of feel like even though he was a guest, I think that he was brought on the show really to be criticized and attacked. And let me let you hear this part right here where Roland Martin again asks him about the comments that he made on interracial relationships.
Also, during that particular interview, you talked about a variety of issues that also got people talking. Dealt with your views on interracial marriage.
Yes, sir.
And so, so explain that for folks who did not hear.
Certainly. Simply put, any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married. The black woman is last likely to get married. She's the last married, the first divorced. We have 2/3 of our children being raised by working class and impoverished single black female-led households. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its families. And if we want to save black people, we have to save the black family. And in order to do that, black men have to commit themselves to black women.
So when you talk about not getting your respect, so if that's the case, and you're saying President Barack Obama didn't get your respect because his dad married a white woman?
Oh, not at all.
With Harry Belafonte?
Not at all. I want to be very clear about something. As Pan-Africanists, the product of an interracial union is an African. I have heroes who are biracial. Some of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism were of mixed racial ancestry. You don't blame a child for how they got here.
But I'm asking you this here. Harry Belafonte is a white woman. No respect for him?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your social status.
No. I didn't say social. I'm talking about one who put the word on. Now, no. I'm asking you. So Harry Belafonte.
Yes, sir.
Sidney Poitier, Julian Bond, Vernon Jordan.
And you're naming all them to say what?
No, these are all African American men who have
done some good things.
No, they marry white women. But any black man who marries a white woman will not get your respect.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm telling you is this. I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would have committed yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like you.
Frederick Douglass.
Yes, sir. An ancestor of mine.
So when you say ancestor, what does that mean?
Okay, so now he's getting ready to go into his claim that he is an ancestor of Frederick Douglass. But I wanted to, you know what, Sister Halima, did you laugh? Did you laugh, Sister Halima?
No, I was sneezing.
Oh, you so sis, so I just wanted to make sure that I played the clips of Umar Johnson and his take on in interracial marriages. So the question of today, which brings us to the question of today, because in this interview with Roland Martin mentioned people who have done great things for the Black community, but yet they married outside of their race. So he mentioned Frederick Douglass, he mentioned Harry Belafonte, but he didn't mention Sidney Poitier. So you have Sidney Poitier, who I believe married or had a relationship with a white woman. There are rumors that Martin Luther King had relationships, even though he was was married to Coretta Scott King. There are rumors that he did have relationships with white women during his marriage. You have Henry Louis Gates, who's still living, and he's a historian, educator, and filmmaker, and spent the majority of his life studying African-American identity, politics, and literature, right? In fact, he just produced, I think last year, or maybe the earlier part of this year, he released a 6-part series on PBS entitled Africa's Great Civilization. But I think that he is married to a white woman. You had James Brown, the godfather of soul. Say it loud, I'm bragging, I'm proud. I mean, I think that towards the end of his life, or his older ages, he, married or had relationships with white women. Flavor Flav, Fight the Power. It takes a nation of a millions to hold us back.
Mm-hmm.
He's currently involved with, I think, a white model. Nate Parker, the brother who produced Birth of a Nation, the story of Nat Turner, he's married to a white woman. Who else do I have in my mind right now? Jordan Peele, the brother, and I know that he is of mixed descent, but you had Jordan Peele, the brother that produced Get Out, which was a great movie. And anyway, but he's married, I believe, to a white woman. Who's the other guy? Jesse Williams. Jesse Williams has done a lot of great things for the youth in the Philadelphia area. He is also a supporter of the Meltrek Project. But he was married to a Black woman, had 2 babies with her, recently divorced her. Now he's currently romantically involved with a white woman. So, and what I call these guys pro-Black, some of them, definitely Frederick Douglass, definitely MLK, definitely, Harry Belafonte, you had Harry Belafonte, he provided a great financial support, to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and other causes in the civil rights movement. And even when King was assassinated, he continued to push forward towards equal rights. So do I consider him a pro-Black? I definitely would. MLK, yes. Frederick Douglass, yes. Henry Louis Gates, yes. And these people were married to white women. So can you be, pro-Black and marry outside of your race? And I remember when you and I were politicking offline, Sister Alima, and we were kind of chatting with Sister Raziki in the inbox earlier. We said, well, I guess it's based on your definition of pro-Black. So I guess before we answer that question, we probably should define what pro-Black is, so that that people can understand where we're coming from with our response.
Right, I agree. The thing with pro-Black is I definitely feel that, like I said in the comments on in the group chat, that I really think it depends on who you ask. So to me, I would say that if someone is pro-Black, then it means that they would like to see the betterment of Black people. They would, if they can do something in their power to help the betterment of Black people, because they identify as being Black, because they are Black. So it's like, yeah, I want better for Black people. I will help if I can, but not so long as I don't have to give up too much of me. Long as I can still do what it is that I want to do, i.e. maybe date a white woman, I can be pro-Black. But like we talked about on the phone, pro-Black and race first is not the same thing.
Absolutely not.
So we're going to try to tie the two together to show the difference, because what Umar Johnson is talking about, that's race first.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
not pro-black. That's not the same thing. I don't have to be black to be pro-black. Just like there's a lot of people who we call coons. Well, guess what? They're pro-white, but they're still just as black as we are.
Yep.
So it's not dependent on my race as to whether I'm pro-black. It's an identity. But when I say that I'm race first, that means that no matter what, I'm not going to do anything outside of my race that would be contradictory or controversial. Which, of course, dating somebody white would definitely be contradictory or controversial.
Absolutely. 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 And I'm glad that you made that point, because when you and I were speaking offline, I was saying how, like, people think because you're pro-black by default, that means you're race first.
Right.
So I'm glad that you clarified that. You know what I mean? Like, you can be pro-black and just not race first.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Umar Johnson, when he was talking, that was someone who had what he was describing was a race first mentality,
Exactly.
not so much a pro-black mentality. And the difference is, when you think of the word pro, let's just define the prefix pro. Pro is advancing, projecting forward or outward in favor of something. So to be in favor of something, I can be in favor of black and not be black. I could be a non-black person, but be pro-black, be for the advancement of black people, even though I'm not a black person. But if I'm a race first person, then that means that when I want to spend my money, I'm going to go with my race first. When I want to marry and procreate, I'm going to go with my race first. When I'm deciding politics or anything like that, I'm going with my race first. It's a difference. It's definitely a difference. And I think that we think that the two are synonymous, and it's not. You can be pro-black and not have a race mentality. But if you have a race if you do have a race mentality by default, you are pro-black. So I think that we just get the two confused, Sister Alina. I think that we get them confused, or we look at them as synonymous, and they're not. Yeah. And then I remember you mentioned Sarima. You mentioned Sarima, and you were saying how I think her name is Sarima Williams, right? Serena. And you were saying how now she's considered a coon. Can you explain that, sis? You said when she married, I
just found it interesting that when she was dating Common or other black guys that she dated, it was fine. And she still donated to black organizations, and she still, as people will call it, was still pro-black. But the minute that she married a white man, suddenly everything that she has done for her people is no longer relevant because she married a white man. And my response to that is, who told y'all that she was race first?
Mm-hmm.
She might be pro-black, which means she identifies with the struggle. She may have lived the struggle. So yeah, I want to help, but I'm going to love who I want to love. That's not race first. She's pro-black. So, to call someone a coon, first of all, I'm so tired of that word coon. And I just really wish that it would be redefined or just thrown away altogether, because it's typically used the wrong way. In my mind, someone that dates or marries a white person, that doesn't necessarily make them a coon per the definition. A person who is cooning goes all out of their way to make black look bad and make white look good. And they do whatever it is they have to do to be within that white circle, to be within them, to have a piece of white privilege or whatever they think they're going to get. So to me, that's a coon. So she's not. I disagree with that. I don't think that she's a coon. I just think that she's not race first.
Absolutely.
And then I want to say this. Some may get upset with me, but I don't care. Realistically, you cannot expect someone to be race first or pro-black simply because they are black. There is no rule book, period. There's no law. There's nothing outside of your personal thought that obligates a person to be pro-black or race first. And I think that just needs to be established, because then maybe we'll stop calling so many people coons and sellouts and all this shit. Because I can't be a sellout if I never sold in.
Yeah, but sis, remember, break this down because we talked about this offline as well. You said black people, we have a very obligatory attitude. We believe that because someone looks like us and they may have the means to support us, that they should. So can you elaborate on that, sis?
Yes, that's right. We often have a mindset, as I was just saying, that we think that just because someone is black, then that means that they should be for the betterment of black people, especially people who have money. When it's a black celebrity, we feel that because they are black like we are, that they should automatically take their dollars and spend it on the black community simply because they have money. And one, I've always taught, you don't count other people's money, you count your own money. So whatever is in their pockets don't have nothing to do with you. And two, like we were saying before, a lot of times they are donating to these organizations and things. It's just not publicized. We don't know. So if you have to take the time, I found out all those things about Serena because I went and looked, not necessarily because I heard it. And I didn't know that she had opened all these schools and done all these wonderful things for underprivileged children. But to most people, who cares? Because she married a white man. It's overridden. But yes, we do have an obligatory mindset to our people, which is not fair, because no one should be forced to be for their people just because they were born black by default. You can't control what color you were born as. So we have to get that expectation out of our mind that just because someone looks like us, which first of all, we got to stop doing lookership versus scholarship, because that's just a hot mess. But just because someone looks like us, that doesn't mean that they have to have the same mindset as you. And that doesn't make them necessarily a bad person if they don't. Because at the end of the day, we all have our own lives to live. So if my life is to choose to be selfish and just be concerned about me and my wants, that's my choice. I don't have to be pro-black. Regardless of whether you like it or not, I don't have to.
And it would be, I think it would be ideal if all of us were pro-black and race first. But that's just not the reality. That's just not the reality that we live in. I mean, it would be nice. I think idealistically, it would be great, man, to say, okay, because African descent and they have a communal mindset and they're for me. But we don't live in that reality. I think we just have to be real with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? We just have to be real with ourselves, and a lot of us just aren't. We don't keep it real with ourselves. I know we think we keep it real, but we don't, sis.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sis, you there?
because
Can you hear me?
Okay, there you go.
Sis, can you hear me?
I hear you now. I don't think you can hear me.
Sis, can you hear me?
We're having some technical difficulties, family. Give us a second. Sis, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. Yes, now I can hear you. So I think my Bluetooth went dead for a second. But I was just saying, because we don't keep it real with ourselves, we have like this unrealistic expectations of one another. And so I'm getting ready to walk in here and grab them right now, sis. Oh man, I wish Sister Raziki and Sister Cheryl was on. I was hoping that it wouldn't be. Excellent. Thank you. You do the same. Sister, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I just had to pick my little one up. I know that we're in the middle of a show, but I had to pick my little one up from his STEM program. This is his last day of his STEM program, and so I had to come through and pick up my baby while we were on the show. Nice. But anyway, I would love, are you looking at the screen or the comments? Because I would love to hear from some of the brothers and sisters in the chat room, just to know what their thoughts and ideas on. Do they think that you can be pro-black and involved in an interracial relationship? I would like to actually hear from some of the brothers and sisters in the chat room, because we are going to end at 1 p.m. and I do want to close at 2 p.m. I want to start keeping the tea talks at least at an hour, because sometimes, we get carried away and, and the conversation kind of drags on for about 2 hours. But I know that people have a lot of things on their plate. And so I just want to keep it at 1 hour. So at least that if someone missed the live show, then they can go to the archives, catch it, and it's an hour. It's not
Right.
2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and 5 hours. Because I know that even, on some of the other platforms with the brothers, when they do Google Hangouts for 3 and 4 and 5 hours, I can't sit, sis. And, I got so much going on with my kids and in my own little, personal life. I can't dedicate 3 hours of my day to listen to a Google Hangout, even if it's good. You know what I mean? I just don't have that type of time. And so, with Tea Talk with the sisters, I want to make sure that from now on, we start at 1 p.m. and we close and we finish up at 2 p.m. So I'm not near the computer to check out the comments. I will be in about.
Log into mine.
But are you near? Okay, yeah, because I just wanted to hear from him. I know that Brother Doug is in the building. When I was home on my computer, I saw that he's in the chat room. Thank you, Brother Doug, for joining us. The brother contacted me via email this week, and he was like, "What's going on, Dr. Ma'at, with the Tea Talk with the sisters?" He said, "You guys haven't been on lately." And I meant to respond to his email, but I haven't. So, Brother Doug, if you're listening, we didn't have the Tea Talk with the sisters last Thursday because two things were going on. One, Sister Riziki was traveling. Her dad transitioned, so she was traveling from Atlanta to Virginia with her mom. And then I was traveling from Baltimore to Newark, New Jersey to give a presentation at the Newark Museum. Last Thursday, we went up there to present Meltrek episode 2 to the museum. And then we also gave a presentation on our production process. So just teaching young people how to create animations. So I did that last week. And then I think the week before, we all had a lot going on. So we just collectively decided to cancel that one as well. So we wanted to make sure that we're going to get back on track with the weekly Tea Talks. We just kind of been busy, busy with other projects, but we had a good run, Sister Alima. We got about 30. I think this is our 30th show. And
Nice.
so I think we've been fairly consistent for the majority of the school year. The majority of the year. Come on, honey, let's go.
I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's like Wi-Fi at the airport. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, well, I'll be near my computer literally in like 2 minutes. I'm walking up my steps right now. While I'm doing that, sis, could you let the people know about the book club that we're starting on August the 6th?
Oh,
And
yes.
what's the name? Yes.
Yes, family. We are starting a book club August the 6th. That is on a Sunday. So we're going to meet every Sunday following that for 1 hour. And what we're going to be reading is The Blueprint for Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson. If you would like to join us, then you should have chapter 1 read by August the 6th. And each week we're going to read one chapter, and you read the chapter individually on your own. When we have the hangout, we all will convene and talk about what it is that we read every week. So it's like 31 chapters, something like that. So 7 months, 8 months it might take us to read it. So it'll take a while. But I figured this will be a good way for a lot of people to read it, because I know a lot of people that have the book, like myself and Dr. Ma'at, but we can't seem to get through it because it's so much. And then you read those big books and then you put it down and you're like, forget it, I'm just going to read the little book, and then you forget about it. So I think this is the best way to get everyone to actually complete it. And not to mention, this is a really, really good book. Dr. Amos Wilson has really great information that we want to really see what is it that we can apply in today's time from the book, because I know it's old, but it's still very, very pertinent. So once again, if you want to join us, we will post the link probably around 4 or 5 p.m. every Sunday. So it'll be there, and then you can just click on at 7. And Google Hangouts, I think it only holds 10 people, family. So it'll kind of be like first come, first serve as far as who's on the panel. And then everyone else will be interacting in the discussions.
Absolutely. And like you said, sis, that book is a powerful book. I look at it like a Bible.
Yes.
Folks, it's like a Bible for us. And, even though, like you say, it's old, we can still take the information out of it. Whatever's relevant for us today, like whatever's relevant and we can utilize it to empower us today, why not?
Right.
And so, like you said, sis, I've had the book for quite some time. You've had the book. But man, I mean, that book is almost 1,000 pages, and combing through it alone, I just couldn't do it. But I think that together, sis, we'll be able to do it. And I'm so excited about this book club, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think so. Well,
absolutely. So let me look at the chat room. Let me go.
And it's pulled up. My YouTube is pulled up. I can't see any comments. I don't know what's. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see what they're talking about.
Let's see what they're talking about. Calvin McDougal said, "Nope." Nope. Calvin, you don't think that you can be pro-black? And matter of fact, let me give them this link. Let me see if some of y'all are on a plantation, so you won't be able to click on the link. I know what's going on.
There's a sister in here that says, "My husband is Irish and I am not pro-black, but I am woke."
There we go. There's the link. Is that sister? Tell the sister to click the link that I just put in. I would love to hear her story.
Sister Lisa Hurd, if you could click the link and share your story, sister, we would love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did she click on?
I'm not sure. It looks like they're talking to themselves in the chat. Brother Iron Kong 26 says, "I made a personal and conscious decision that I would be with a black woman. There is no other woman that can understand me in every facet. Relationships are not just emotional decisions." I know that's right, brother.
Mm.
Yeah, it seems like sis they talking to themselves.
Oh,
okay, Steve Styles says, "Good afternoon, family. Pro-black, race first is the same thing. Y'all are trying to confuse something very easily defined. If you marry, date outside your culture, race, you are defeating the purpose." Well, that's your opinion, brother Steve Styles, and we have ours. Peace to you.
Exactly. And opinions are like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go there, but he know to finish it yourself, brother.
Right. You know, he said in the words of Master Teacher John Henry Clark, "Love yourself, love your family, love your culture over everything else, and I grant you the right to do the same." You know, and I mean, again, like he said, that's his. And I want to be clear, I'm not advocating black folks go out here and marry white folks.
Exactly. So don't get it twisted. Comprehension is key, people.
Yeah.
Comprehension.
Right. Yeah, that's not what we're saying at all. We're African-centered women first and foremost, and we don't advocate for interracial marriages. The topic was or is, can you be pro-black? Meaning, can you be for black? Can you be for the advancement of black people, you know, and be involved in interracial marriages? And we cannot deny that there are several people who have clearly been for the advancement of black people and did marry outside of their race. Frederick Douglass is a great example of that.
But isn't he a mulatto?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, well then he can marry who he wants. Just let me be clear. I know some of y'all ain't gonna like this either, but just because someone is black and white, y'all need to get the white man's little one-drop rule out your head, because that's not science. So just because someone is black and white, they could either genetically be white or genetically be black. But if a mulatto person chooses to marry a white person, they can do that, because guess what? They're half white. Okay, continue on. I just had to get it out.
Yeah, she says, "I see your brother joined us. Peace and power, brother. How are you?"
How you doing, brother? He got his mic.
Hey, peace, y'all. Thank you for allowing me to be on here, as well as thank you to the chat for the information that I'm receiving from them as well.
Fantastic, brother. What would you like to add? I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm just like, I don't know. I think people believe that being pro-black is rhetoric or what comes out of your mouth and not your actions.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we have to get away from talking big and actually be big, and that's through your works. I think anyone who has contributed toward the betterment of black people, or Moors, however you want to see it, can be qualified to be pro-black. I don't think our personal relationships so much so alters how we move or do things. I think you clarified that with race first, but a lot of people like to make it synonymous. And I just think that I kind of find it hard to designate swirlers as coons, and it's about black family when you have same-sex relationships that do not promote the black family as well. So, I mean, when does the buck drop? I mean, when does the buck stop? It's just like we gotta define what blackness is. We gotta define how to achieve it. And once we done with all that, I could give you the answer. It's quite natural. You got to do the work. You got to pick black people up. And I don't think your sexual preference or your sexual whatchamacallit is even a factor in that. But if we're going to attack swirlers, why are we going to leave out same-sex relationships? Because they're not providing a black family. But I digress.
I agree.
I agree. Oh, now everybody want to come in.
Right, when it's almost over.
Yeah, when it's almost over. We got 10 more minutes. Sister Mo, Sister Cheryl.
Why y'all on Color People Time?
I just read the note that said, try my page. I couldn't get on.
Oh man, sis. So what's your thoughts, Sister Mo and Sister Cheryl? First of all, peace to you, queens. Peace.
Peace, queens.
Peace, y'all. Oh, we talking about interracial?
Yes. Can you be pro-black and involved in an interracial marriage or relationship?
No, you probably can, but boy, you're gonna have some hard times. It's gonna be smoke in the city. I don't ever see where the conversation or controversy will not be a problem in the relationship.
So, Sister Monica, you think that race first and pro-black is the same thing?
Race first and pro-black. Yeah, it sounds like the same to me. I guess I'd have to say, what's the definition of each before I answer?
I was about to say, I think it's different.
But, well, tell me, pro-black, black seems to be categorized as race these days, and pro-black seems to be categorized from a race perspective. I don't know all the different perspectives out there. To me, it's the same. I don't see a difference, unless you guys can educate me on the different angles that they come from with being pro-black and being race first. Unless we're going off the fact of it's only one human race, then I guess we would say no, it is different. But according to the way the world operates, they categorize black as a race, even though that's probably not the founded definition of it. So I guess it just depends what audience and what perspective.
All right.
But in reference to the relationship deal, like I said, I know people try it, but it's almost inevitable that it's going to be a problem in instances in your life. You know, people walk around and say, I don't see color. However, when situations arise, that's the first thing that comes out of individuals' mouth, regardless if they're trying to avoid it or not. It's something that's almost unavoidable because of the way the system has actually is kind of designed, so to speak. That's yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I don't believe in that. I don't see color crap either. I mean, we're human beings. We have eyes. You see something, and so I'm totally with you on that. But there is a difference between pro-black and race first. And Sister Alima and myself, we defined that at the beginning of the show. But I want to hear Sister Cheryl's idea on that, because she said, I believe that they're different. And Sister Alima and myself, we believe that pro-black and race first are different. So Sister Cheryl, let me hear from you, sis. What do you think? What do you think? Oh my gosh, I hope my computer doesn't die. What do you think, Sister Cheryl?
I think pro-black, it's a lot of people out there that's pro-black and still cooning, so we have and race first. I believe that if you're race first, then you are that person that is strictly going to date within your race. You're strictly doing things that are promoting your race, your culture. But pro-black to me sometimes seems like just the end thing to do. at times, depending on, you know, what's going on. Oh, I'm pro-black, but you don't really know the definition of pro-black. You know, and you're right. You're out here dating out of your race some Asian women. You don't find your women attractive. And if you do, you're looking at the light-skinned women because you mixed up, you know. So yeah, pro-black and race first are a little different, in my opinion.
I think pro-black is a mindset, and race first is a lifestyle. That's what I would say. Anybody can have the mindset to be pro-black, like we talked about earlier. A white person can be pro-black, but he definitely can't be race first because he's not even black. That's what I think. I think pro-black is like a mindset, or like Cheryl said, it's just a thing to do at the time. Because you can see black people walking down the street marching, and then here comes the white people joining them. Yeah, we're pro-black too. But it's like, hey, you want to give up that white privilege? Now wait a damn minute. I'm race first. You see the difference?
Absolutely. 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 And so, absolutely. I'm up here looking through the comment section right now to see what everyone is saying. Someone, Lessa Darcy said, I already have a question for you, Dr. Ma'at. But where's the question? Lessa Darcy, where's your question? Oh, she said, yes, you can. Yeah, I see what you said, Lisa Heard. My husband is Irish and I'm not pro-black, but I am awoke. I would love for the sister to explain that. She said, I am still conscious.
Well, she can be conscious to be with a white person, especially when you take the definition of conscious, not the pseudo definition that everybody has made it to be.
Exactly.
But the actual definition. All that means is that you're aware. I can be aware that my husband is a white man and that he gets wife privilege and all of that, but I can still be with him. So yeah, I agree with her.
Then Steve Styles says she's not woke, she's sleepwalking. He is so simple. I'm getting ready to boot Steve Styles out of here. Psych, Steve, I'm just playing with you. I wouldn't do that to you. Okay, Calvin McDougall said to really contribute to the black race, it goes beyond money. I agree with that.
What about Shaq Antijoke? Wasn't his wife white?
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to ever throw away none of his books or none of his research or none of that. So that's my point.
Yeah, he was married to a white woman.
Yes.
And people have argued about that. I think the Hebrew Israelites would try to bring that up, that he married a white woman. So like you said, does that make him less pro-black?
Right. Not to me.
Yeah, not to me. Absolutely not. Someone said, does pro-black equal pro-black creation with a question mark?
What does that mean?
Yeah, Damian Everly, can you elaborate on that? Does pro-black equal pro-black creation? Please elaborate on that, Brother Damian. Okay, so I'm waiting.
Is he saying that, you know how they say if your child have a certain percentage of black in them that they're black? Is that what he's saying? That procreation, meaning that someone black has had a baby with another race and not a child is black? Is that the same thing? Is that what he's talking about?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I believe he's contested to creation as far as having children.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Having peace, T-Duck.
Yeah. So he's saying is pro-black synonymous with only having black children? With black women. I think that's what he's asking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would say no, because pro-black and race first is not the same thing.
Exactly. And the sister Lessa Darcy, she said, Dr. Ma'at, in the earlier tea talk, you said your sons know you expect them to only bring home a black girl, none of this mix, etc. Absolutely. And I still stand on that because I'm a race first. I have a race first mentality. So absolutely, I would absolutely still stand on that I want them to bring home. They know that I want them to bring home a black girl because I have a race first mentality. Even the way I spend my money, my family will tell you the way, I have made it a cultural practice in my household for us to spend our money with our people first. Aside from, of course, mortgage and things of that nature. But like when we go get a product, it's like, wait a minute, if I'm going to eat out, we make sure that we go to Black owned and operated carry out some restaurants. The paper towels that we use, the paper towels, toilet paper, Kleenex, trash bags that we use, we get that from Freedom Paper, which is a Black owned and operated company here in Baltimore. Cool toothbrush, there, laundry detergent, true. So I make sure that I teach my kids to buy and to spend their money with their own people. So we have a race first mentality in my family.
Let me ask you a question, sis, since you're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I put up a post earlier and I said, hypothetically, right? Say you are in a small, say you're traveling and you've been on the road for hours, you stop, you in a little hick town. They got a Black owned barbecue joint. They got a fresh smoothie market and a Chinese spot. And so I was asking people, which one would you eat at? And let me ask you the same question. Which spot would you eat at?
Barbecue spot.
Monica, you said barbecue spot?
Yep.
So let me ask you this, Monica. If I don't want to eat no barbecue, because that ain't part of my diet, I don't see nothing healthy on the menu that I want. If I go to Fresh Smoothie Market, am I no longer race first?
No.
Thank you. Okay. I just making
sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat with sometimes you're gonna make choices and decisions. Not always are we gonna have it's gonna be 100% where because there's gonna be situations, especially when you're talking about traveling and coming outside of the environment, where you might have the opportunity to make those choice decisions as you just mentioned. But for the most part, I think making a conscious effort to change up the way you spend your funds is important, in that not to be so a fanatic, like I make absolute statements, I never do this, because then there's some situations where you may not have a choice, such as certain equipment, washers, dryers, you know what I'm saying, home builders and things of that nature. Some things we just don't produce on our own. However, for some of the items that you easily put your hands on most often, then yes, we should transition over. A lot of people say why should we buy from each other, like as if they're not. I made a comment to someone the other day. It was like, well, we don't work with one another. I said, well, I kind of beg a differ, because some of our sisters and brothers that come straight from the motherland, a case in point, the braiding shops, all of those women are either family or their friends that work together in their shops. Some of the hair salons, they work together. The barbers, it's just some of the other commercialized companies where we have to get into that practice. Even some of our restaurants, it's all of our people. It's just some of the other areas that we just need to work on and show our strong presence fronts where we're working together. I think that is beginning to be more now present than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, sis.
No. I said absolutely. Keep going, Sister Monica. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. So it's the more exposure that comes out, and people that are not afraid to say no. Case in point, now here in Carolina, I don't get any side eye, with my hair being natural. But as soon as I step foot in Louisiana, the first thing I get, is you need to go put a perm. And I'll say, well, you need to stop being attracted to them. You don't want to know what I say. but it's like, why are you wearing your hair like that? My dad says, well, y'all don't comb your hair down there. And I'm like, and then there's certain attractions. So we talking about interracial dating. Now back in the day, it was predominantly. Now you hardly ever. You see a lot of the, brothers and sisters together, because our areas are kind of segregated, and we kind of roll. And even when you roll up, sister or brother, for that matter, and they roll up with somebody other than, they get talked about real bad. Like in my family, you already know when you hit the gate, they not just gonna talk about you. They might even make the person cry. They get real ugly. So I already knew, even if I ever even thought about it, I'd probably be divorced real fast and real quick, because we'd never be able to go around family. They just don't do it. It's just, they already know what you've been through, where you've been. They let you know, they remind you of it. And when you walk out into the streets, or you walk into the store. My cousin, I have a cousin, she has a baby for, I think he's either Korean or one of those Asians over there. And my little cousin, she's black, but boy, she looks just like her dad, right? And my cousin gets us the hardest time everywhere she goes. People be like, "Oh, you're babysitting such a cute little girl." She gets so mad, But I'm like, hey, it comes with the territory, You already know you're gonna go through this for the rest of your life. People don't think it's your kid, or when her and the guy was still married, she would get the side eye. People would be ugly to her, or they would be ugly to him. So I always tell her, it comes with the territory, sweetie. I'm sorry.
So do y'all think people should be, and even to the people in the chat room, do you think that people that say they are race first, that they should be race first no matter what?
Based on, I would say probably so, because based on the way our world is, it doesn't give us room to be multicultural. I think that would be the opposite, right? Even though in some areas or some points in life, you don't have a hard time, you don't have to deal with some of the negativity. But in hindsight, most culture,